Betrayal. A word that carries an almost unbearable weight, capable of devastating even the strongest pillars of a relationship. But why do men and women cheat? Is there something hidden, an invisible force that drives people to seek outside what they already have at home? Often, infidelity is not just a matter of desire or opportunity, it can be a reflection of deeper, unmet needs. When a couple faces infidelity, it's easy to blame the act itself, but the real issue lies in the roots of that betrayal. Have you ever wondered what truly drives someone to cheat? It's easy to think it's just a lack of character, but the truth is far more complex. There are a number of factors, many rooted in psychology and life experiences, that can push a person toward infidelity. And that's exactly what we're going to explore. From emotional addictions to childhood traumas, from poor communication to unrealistic expectations, each factor plays a crucial role in the web that leads to betrayal. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind infidelity. We're going to open up a new perspective on what's really happening behind the scenes of a betrayed relationship. And by the end of this journey, you won't just understand the hidden motives, but you'll also be better prepared to recognize and avoid the traps that lead to betrayal. Stay tuned, because what you discover could forever change the way you view relationships. Many believe that infidelity is a simple phenomenon, caused by momentary dissatisfaction or the pursuit of something new. However, the roots of infidelity are much deeper and more complex than one might imagine. There are layers of emotions, expectations, and unresolved traumas that can lead a person to cross the line of loyalty. Understanding these aspects is crucial not only to prevent infidelity but also to strengthen the bonds of the relationship in a lasting way. Have you ever stopped to think if what you consider love is truly a genuine connection or just a projection of your own needs and insecurities? As you dive into this topic, you'll discover that often infidelity arises when our expectations clash with reality. Understanding how these dynamics work can be the key to building stronger relationships where trust and respect prevail over the temptations of the outside world. When we think of infidelity, it's easy to focus solely on the act itself, but what we often overlook are the small cracks that form in the relationship over time. These minor breakdowns, whether in communication or emotional connection, can create fertile ground for infidelity to take root. It's crucial to understand how to prevent these fractures, ensuring that the relationship remains strong and resilient even in the face of challenges. Moreover, it's important to reflect on how society shapes our perceptions of what we should expect from a relationship. Often, we are influenced by unattainable ideals of perfection that, when not met, lead to frustration and disillusionment. By questioning these expectations and focusing on building a relationship grounded in reality, we can not only avoid infidelity but also create a more authentic and fulfilling partnership. Addictions, like sex addiction, often emerge as a reflection of emotional gaps that people try to fill. When someone finds themselves trapped in cycles of compulsive behavior, they're often seeking a way to cope with deep-seated pain and insecurities. Sex, in particular, can become an escape valve for those who feel emotionally disconnected, seeking immediate pleasures as a way to silence the internal void. Imagine someone who, after years of emotional dissatisfaction, loses themselves in a spiral of infidelity, trying to find in fleeting affairs what is missing in their relationship. This relentless pursuit of satisfaction is a desperate attempt to patch up wounds that, in reality, need to be addressed on a much deeper level. People tend to use these addictions as a temporary band-aid, not realizing that they are merely masking the underlying issues. To break this cycle, a conscious effort is needed to recognize these emotional traps and seek professional help. Therapies that address emotional issues, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, can be essential in helping someone understand and overcome these destructive patterns. Betrayals, addictions, and infidelity are often symptoms of something much bigger, something that requires attention, care, and, above all, self-understanding. And it's at this point that we enter the terrain of the psychological foundations of betrayal. Betrayal is not just an impulsive act, it is often rooted in deep emotional issues that frequently trace back to childhood. Individuals who grew up feeling inadequate or lacking the necessary affection may develop a constant need for external validation. Thus, infidelity becomes an attempt to fill those emotional gaps, a way to seek outside what they feel is missing inside. Behind every betrayal, there are often repressed feelings of fear and insecurity, camouflaged by anger and jealousy. For example, a person who fears not being loved enough may seek confirmation of their worth in other relationships. In this context, infidelity is less about the partner and more about the betrayer trying to deal with their own internal battles. This dynamic is an emotional trap that, without self-awareness, can continue to repeat itself. To prevent such situations, it is essential for the person to recognize these patterns and work on them before they manifest in harmful actions. Therapies focused on self-awareness and healing childhood traumas can be an effective way to break this cycle. Understanding these psychological foundations is the first step in preventing infidelity from becoming an easy escape for unresolved issues. And this is where the crucial importance of self-love comes in. Self-love is the solid foundation on which all relationships should be built. Without a healthy sense of self-esteem, people become vulnerable to the emotional traps that lead to infidelity. When someone doesn't value themselves, they are more likely to accept less than they deserve, falling into toxic relationships and even tolerating betrayals, believing that this is the price to pay for not being alone. Imagine a person who, due to a lack of self-love, gives themselves over to relationships where respect and reciprocity are absent. This person may end up accepting repeated betrayals, believing they don't deserve more than that. It's as if they are continually trying to fill an inner void with someone else's love, without realizing that this void can only be filled internally. Betrayals, in this context, are a symptom of a bigger problem, a lack of self-love and self-respect. To break this cycle, it's crucial to cultivate self-love daily. Practices such as meditation, reading self-development books like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, and seeking therapeutic support can help strengthen self-esteem. Self-love not only protects against infidelity but also empowers the person to seek healthy and fulfilling relationships. And it's precisely because of this that betrayal is often a symptom of problems within the relationship. Betrayal, as painful as it is often a reflection of deeper issues within a relationship. When one party feels unsatisfied or unfulfilled, infidelity can emerge as an escape, a way out for unmet emotions and needs. This doesn't mean betrayal is justifiable, but rather that it often signals that something crucial in the relationship isn't working as it should. For example, in a marriage where communication is flawed and emotional needs are ignored, one partner may seek outside what they feel is lacking at home. In this scenario, infidelity reveals that the roots of the problem lie in a lack of connection and dialogue. What could have been resolved with an honest conversation often ends in an impulsive act of betrayal, creating an even deeper wound. To address this issue, it's essential for the couple to be willing to face difficulties head-on. This can include anything from couples therapy to open and regular discussions about each other's expectations and needs. At its core, infidelity is a symptom that the relationship needs care and adjustments. And this quest for adjustments leads us to reflect on the pressure of chasing the unattainable ideal. The relentless pursuit of an unattainable ideal is a trap that many couples fall into. Contemporary society, with its perfect images of happiness and success, creates immense pressure for people to believe they need to find or become the ideal partner. When these unrealistic expectations aren't met, frustrations and disappointments arise, which can lead to betrayal as a form of escape or rebellion. Imagine someone who, influenced by idealized standards of beauty and behavior, begins to compare their partner to these fantastical images. The dissatisfaction grows, and the desire for something better may culminate in infidelity. This pursuit of perfection becomes a silent poison in the relationship, where betrayal manifests not out of a lack of love, but out of an illusion that something perfect is always within reach, as long as one looks outside the relationship. To combat this trap, it's crucial to cultivate acceptance of imperfections and learn to value authenticity. What may seem like a flaw in a partner is often what makes the relationship unique and real. Practicing gratitude for what you have, rather than focusing on what's missing, can be the key to preventing infidelity from becoming a response to the pursuit of an unattainable ideal. And in this context, communication and conflict resolution become essential tools. Communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. When there are failures in this area, unresolved conflicts pile up, undermining trust and opening the door to betrayal. Many couples avoid difficult conversations, choosing to sweep problems under the rug, which creates fertile ground for resentment and, eventually, infidelity. A lack of dialogue is like a ticking time bomb, ready to explode when you least expect it. Imagine a couple who, instead of discussing their frustrations, emotionally distance themselves, creating a chasm between them. This disconnection may lead one partner to seek understanding or validation in someone else, resulting in betrayals that could have been avoided with a simple honest conversation. What begins as a small misunderstanding can turn into a major betrayal, leaving deep scars. To prevent this from happening, it's essential to cultivate open and honest communication from the beginning of the relationship. This includes creating an environment where both parties feel safe to express their feelings and concerns without fear of judgment. Techniques like nonviolent communication can be extremely helpful in this process. When communication is strong, conflicts can be resolved before they become insurmountable. And it's precisely this illusion of perfect compatibility that we need to demystify. Many people enter relationships with the expectation of finding someone who fits perfectly into every aspect of their life. This search for an ideal partner who meets all their needs is an illusion that often leads to disappointment and, in extreme cases, betrayal. When reality doesn't match the fantasy, frustration can set in, and infidelity emerges as an attempt to find that perfection in another person. Consider the example of someone who believes their partner should share every interest, every thought, leaving no room for differences. When these expectations aren't met, the person may begin to feel dissatisfied and look outside the relationship for that ideal which, in reality, doesn't exist. Infidelity often occurs when a partner seeks in others what they think is missing at home, without realizing that perfection is an illusionary construct. To avoid falling into this trap, it's crucial to accept that no one is perfect and that the true secret to a lasting relationship is accepting imperfections. Instead of seeking a partner who meets all your needs, it's healthier to look for someone with whom you can grow and learn, even in differences. Accepting the other's imperfections is the key to building a solid and authentic relationship. And this is where childhood traumas begin to shape our behaviors in adult relationships. Childhood traumas have a profound and lasting impact on how we relate in adult life. Negative experiences such as abandonment, rejection, or lack of affection shape our expectations and behaviors, often in unconscious ways. These traumas can manifest in destructive patterns, such as betrayal, where the individual, in search of healing an old wound, ends up repeating cycles of pain in relationships. Imagine a person who, in childhood, never felt sufficiently loved or valued. In adult life, this person may seek validation from multiple partners, resulting in infidelity. These betrayals are not just a reflection of current dissatisfaction but an attempt to heal old wounds that the person often doesn't fully understand. The trauma of not feeling worthy of love can lead someone to constantly seek it in places where it won't be found. To break these cycles, it's essential to recognize and work on childhood traumas. Therapies such as somatic psychotherapy or transactional analysis can help bring these patterns to light and heal them, allowing the person to build healthier relationships, free from the weight of the past. By understanding how the past influences the present, it's possible to prevent old traumas from continuing to sabotage happiness in love. And it's precisely for this reason that shared values are so important for a lasting relationship. Shared values are the foundation upon which a lasting relationship is built. When two individuals share fundamental beliefs and principles, the base of their relationship is much more solid, allowing them to overcome challenges and avoid the pitfalls of infidelity. The lack of alignment in these values, on the other hand, can create deep fissures, leading to emotional distance and, in some cases, betrayal. Think of a couple where one values honesty above all else, while the other sees little lies as necessary to keep the peace. Over time, this discrepancy can create resentment, fostering an environment where infidelity becomes more likely. In this context, betrayal is not just a moral failure, but the result of a deep disconnect in fundamental values, something that can erode the relationship from within. To prevent these fissures from becoming chasms, it's essential for couples to discuss and align their values from the outset. This may include conversations about expectations, life goals, and even spiritual beliefs. When values are aligned, the couple has an internal compass that guides them in times of crisis, helping to maintain fidelity and integrity in the relationship. And this leads us to another challenge that can arise: routine and boredom. Routine is a double-edged sword in relationships. On one hand, it brings security and predictability. On the other, it can sap passion and lead to boredom, which, if unmanaged, can result in betrayal. When the excitement of new discoveries fades and the couple settles into the monotony of daily life, the desire to revive the initial thrill may lead some to seek adventures outside the relationship, falling into the trap of infidelity. Imagine a couple who, after years together, find themselves trapped in a colorless routine. They follow the same steps, have the same conversations, and the initial enthusiasm seems to have vanished. One partner, feeling suffocated by the boredom, may be tempted to seek the excitement that's missing at home with someone else, resulting in betrayal. What began as a desire for novelty can turn into an irreparable wound. To prevent routine from becoming a poison, it's essential for the couple to continuously invest in new experiences and the renewal of their emotional connection. This may include small surprises in daily life, spontaneous trips, or shared hobbies. Keeping the relationship vibrant requires effort, but it's this effort that prevents infidelity from becoming a solution to boredom. And finally, let's explore the reality behind divorce statistics. Divorce statistics reflect not just numbers but profound changes in the expectations and dynamics of modern relationships. The rise in divorces is not merely an indicator of failure, but often a consequence of the evolution of social norms and what people expect from a relationship. The pursuit of happiness and personal fulfillment has become central, and when these expectations aren't met, separation is seen as a viable, albeit painful, solution. Behind every statistical figure are stories of couples who, realizing the unsustainability of their union, chose to go separate ways. Betrayals, communication failures, and unmet expectations are just some of the factors contributing to these numbers. Infidelity, in many cases, appears as a symptom of problems that have been eroding the relationship for some time, leading to the inevitable breakup. To understand the reality behind these statistics, it's important to look beyond the numbers and grasp the human motivations. The pressure for a perfect relationship, changing gender expectations, and the growing value placed on individuality are factors shaping today's relationships. Understanding this complexity can help navigate the turbulent waters of a modern relationship and avoid repeating the same mistakes. After all, what really matters is how we use this knowledge to improve our own lives and relationships. Now that you understand the deep reasons behind infidelity, it's time to reflect on how to apply this knowledge to your own life. Think about your relationships. Are you paying enough attention to the warning signs? Are you willing to face difficulties head-on and invest in what really matters? Remember, infidelity is not an inevitable fate, but rather the result of choices and circumstances that can be prevented. How will you use this information to strengthen your bonds? What concrete actions can you take to ensure that communication, respect, and shared values remain at the heart of your relationship? Challenge yourself to be proactive, to seek continuous improvement, and not to allow boredom, disconnection, or unrealistic expectations to pave the way for infidelity. Change starts with you. Remember that a successful relationship is like a garden. It requires constant care, patience, and attention to detail. Don't let small weeds, like a lack of communication or boredom, grow and take over your space. Take the time to cultivate love, trust, and respect, and always be willing to learn and grow with your partner. By doing so, you not only prevent infidelity but also build a relationship that flourishes over time, becoming stronger and richer with each passing day. Never underestimate the power of forgiveness and reconciliation, both for yourself and your partner. While preventing infidelity is essential, dealing with its consequences in a healthy way is just as important. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or ignoring the pain, but choosing not to let it define the future of the relationship. By making space for healing, you create the opportunity to rebuild trust and possibly form an even deeper, more meaningful connection. If this content was helpful to you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning more about how to build healthy and lasting relationships. This is just the beginning of your journey to creating the love life you deserve. Let's continue exploring what makes love thrive and how you can avoid the traps that lead to pain and betrayal.